Sorry.
I muted, or I turned off my volume, but I forgot to mute myself.
All right, so I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock tonight, and we'll begin with a roll call and declaration of quorum. So for committee members, Melissa Bacon. Here. Carmen Barsky.
Present.
Beth Day.
Here.
And Adam Tangway.
Here.
Right, so we have a quorum with all members present tonight. Any adjustments to the agenda? No adjustments on our end tonight. First up is the election of the committee chair. Are there any nominations for committee chair?
I'd like to nominate Beth Day for committee chair.
Second.
So we have a nomination for Beth Day. Any discussion? Excellent. All right, so we can go ahead with a vote. All in favor? Very good. Okay, so we have a new chair. Okay.
Oh, now I go? Okay,
You open up the nomination for the vice chair.
got it. Okay, so I will make a motion. Can I motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I will make a motion to nominate Adam Tangway for vice chair.
Second.
And we'll vote. All right. And then we'll look at to approve the minutes for the June 3rd meeting. I guess.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 3rd, 2025 meeting.
Second,
All in favor?
discussion.
Oh, discussion? Thank you.
Just remember. I don't have any, but. Habits are important.
Habits, yes. First time. Okay, any discussion? No? All in favor? All right. Okay, now we're moving on to old business. The first one coming up is BEDF. All right. This one is coming in back. There's a lot of word changes on here. And
Sure. Can you see it?
can you see it or do you want to?
It's really, I can share.
I think that this is coming back because we wanted it to go through the full board first. To
Yeah, there's a
approve it
few-
because there were changes.
Yeah, there's a few things that as I was reminding myself going through this one, that one is just, we struck out the weighted vote mentioned. I'm assuming that doesn't eliminate from policy the weighted vote, because that's in another policy, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think that's a problem. I just, it reminded me to ask the question. And then it struck out the minority statement. I was probably the person that said we should probably put that in front of the board because it's enough of a change. I don't think most of the board knew a minority statement was something you could offer if you wanted to, but
Right.
I think other than that, there's not. Not any real substantive changes, but I do think it's worth putting it in front of the board just for that.
So correct me if I'm wrong, this has not gone in front of the board? Okay, it has not gone in front of the board. So I agree we should, if we're gonna be removing those statements and everything.
Yeah, we may have tabled it because it would have been really tough to get it through for a first and a second read
Okay,
within the time frame, meeting in June, and just trying to have those quick meetings
Okay.
through the summer. I'm not sure if that's correct, but
that makes sense to me. Okay, so I think we should probably put it through to a first read. Are there any other questions about it before we actually do that? Don't have time to read it.
Is there, oh, no, I've read it. Is there any particular reason why we're crossing out abstaining? I'm changing it to not voting.
That's from, Caitlin did that, so
And I didn't see any description as to why it was done.
I like abstaining better.
Me too,
I
The
think it was
MSMA
just-
sample says not voting.
Yeah,
really.
I think
Yeah.
it was just last meeting, somebody recommended it maybe because of that.
Yeah, I like abstaining. I'd rather leave that in there. Yeah.
That's my background has always been abstaining. And, and I feel like that one of the, cross references on here is abstentions.
Yep,
So I kind of feel like that,
agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So reject that suggestion.
Yes.
please.
Basically, anything marked out as changes that they're recommending.
Okay.
No, these are, it's a shared document, so it's everybody.
Jody, are you making notes on what needs to go for first reads and all that, or do you want me to email you at the end?
I can make notes. And I
Since you're
think
gonna
that, it goes in the minutes and
Okay.
I'll make sure so that, next week's agenda is already set, so it'll come forth at the second
The
one.
next one, yeah, the one after. Okay,
So,
perfect. Okay. Moving on to BCC, this is nepotism. This one's coming back because we really didn't have a good grasp on, when we talked about, I think it was May, could have been June at this point, I don't even remember. But at the last meeting, we talked about what it means to be an immediate family member. And with so many families still living together and kids are growing up, but they're not moving out, aunts, uncles, cousins, so many people living together, we weren't sure what that meant. So MSMA has the whole list there, brother, sister, son, daughter, blah, blah, blah. But Maine state law only says spouse. So we would be allowed by law to take off the brother, sister, son, and daughter if we wanted to. We talked about doing that because so many people were living at home still. What do you guys think?
How do I feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember we had a lot of discussion around this. I mean, selfishly, I remember this was happening at the same time my daughter was home from school and subbing. So it was a question of whether
Right.
that was allowed because she's my daughter, but like I don't have any influence on that process. I think at the time we discussed it in committee and no one felt like there was any undue pressure, but I'm trying to remember why we didn't move it forward. It was either we wanted to double check the law that would be fine with just spouse
Or
or
domestic
domestic
partner.
partner.
Right.
And the other thing I can think of is maybe bouncing it back to administration to make sure that they didn't see any issues with us changing this that would create conflicts that then they have to deal with.
Right. Any feedback on that side?
I mean, at the end of the day, if there's any question, we're gonna check with Dr. Markey and Dr. Doyle to ensure before we put anyone into a building or classroom space to ensure that it's okay.
Mhm.
So,
And it wouldn't, since we're making that definition of immediate family more specific, like we wouldn't already have people employed that would then be impacted by it. It would work the opposite way, where now there would potentially be additional candidates out there.
Right.
Now that we're looking.
And, you know, in the policy still states that they can't be, you know, supervised, you know, or supervising, you know, like, so you wouldn't have, I don't know how it all works, but that would still apply. And, you know, there could be exceptions and all of that, but I'm thinking of you know, we want students to live in this community and raise their families in this community. And if they can't get jobs here, they're gonna move somewhere else as they grow up. So,
right. And it's also a different, it's a different world now than it was 20 years ago where you turned 18 and you moved out.
right,
You know, a lot of kids are living at home for an extended period of time. A lot of, you know, there's a lot of that blended family household type things. My question is, the elimination of the employment section, that is part of the MSMA sample. Any recollection of why we would eliminate that we can't employ a spouse of a school board member or an immediate family?
That is still a law. I wrote that down too. I didn't understand why that was.
So maybe
crossed out.
because it's law and you don't need to put law in
Oh,
policy.
That might
So,
have been.
right, so where it says by main law, a school board member's spouse is precluded from employment under any circumstances. Yeah, you don't need to put law in policy.
yeah,
So that
that's-
may be
so that
why
would
we're
be
taking
why.
it out.
That rings.
That
a
makes
bell.
sense. Yep.
That's why.
Is there value though in just, and I'm not part of these decisions, so I wouldn't know if it's helpful, but in it being a reminder that that is the law, or is that not needed? Because we also have it in exceptions. It says you can make an exception to any of this except for the employment of a, spouse or domestic
Spouse.
partner of the school board
Then it
member.
references the law again under volunteers. And if we're keeping that part in,
So we
it
should
seems
probably
like
keep
we
the
should
law.
keep the other part in or take both parts out.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping the law part in. I don't think it hurts anything. Maybe we have to take the first paragraph out because that does talk about.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
immediate
take
family
the
members.
first one out and then leave that second one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the
Cause
references.
that
about-
basically just references the law.
Right. So what do you guys, how do you guys feel about that immediate family member, our definition being only spouse or domestic partner? Any feedback from administration? Any more feedback?
I don't see an issue with it personally, given the other pieces and the protections that are in place. When you look at supervision and evaluation, we have sort of those safeguards in check. So really it comes down to the question of hiring. I sort of land in the same spot you are. I'd rather cast a wider net and have communities stay close to home, but I can certainly respect if there are concerns that the board has moving forward. I think we can go either way.
And it's one of those cases where we can bring it to the board for a first read and say, this is how we feel and this
I was
is
just
why
gonna
we
say
feel that way.
that.
And then they have the opportunity between the first read and the second read that if they feel differently, they can communicate that to this
Yeah.
committee and then.
That's what I was thinking too. Is everybody okay with that? Moving
Yeah,
this to a
we-
first read?
We should be able to remove the exceptions section too, because it says we can make an exception to immediate family members, which we just removed that from the policy. And then it reminds us that we can't do it for spouses, but for
Mm.
domestic partners, but we left that so we could just take the whole section out, I think.
Yeah, agreed. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think a first read would be excellent.
Okay.
Need a motion for that? Do we need a motion for first reads? Yeah. Make a
do-
motion for
Yes?
moving this to a first read. Brushing the dust off our process.
Oh,
Been a while.
You're making that motion to bring both of those old business for a
Yes, of
first read,
course.
right?
Both of them.
That's what I thought.
mhm. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Melissa seconded. All right, we will,
Discussion?
discussion, right. We have to vote on every single one of these?
You don't.
We don't, right? We don't vote on them.
We don't you vote on these,
Yeah,
but then any that we don't make changes to, you can ask the committee to approve it by consensus. And then we don't need to make a motion. and
Okay.
second and vote.
do we need to?
This
vote
one you need to
send-
vote.
Okay, we do need to vote on these, okay.
Cause they need to go to first read, right?
Right, got it, all right. I forgot. Hasn't been that long, but,
You're getting there.
okay,
I didn't have any discussion.
any discussion? All in favor? Okay, great. All right, moving on to new business. This one's a little bit out of order, but I think that there's a reason for it. Let me go click on it here. BBBAA-E. The reason that we brought this back is because of just the times on the
Yeah.
third check mark down,
Yeah, this is.
or second check mark down.
Times, because the meeting times have changed.
But I had a question on this. On the second check mark down, we have until approximately 8:30, but policy says that we can't go past 10.
There's a change.
And
recommended
it was
change in the
suggested for
policy on
8,
this
but
list.
that, I think that was a typo. So,
Yeah, there's another policy after this one where we're suggesting changing those times to as well,
Okay,
to 6 to
To-
8:30.
So can we
And
make a
8:30
change
instead of
to
10?
this without making a change to that first? We
Yeah.
can.
yeah, we can.
Okay.
So I can
Um,
get to that one today.
Right, we will. I'm rifling through.
All right.
Right now.
I'll get faster, I promise. Okay, so
Yeah,
is
'cause
that the
this is
time
just
that
an
we want?
approximation from six, they're typically six
Right.
PM until 8:30. I think though that to be consistent with like our school board schedule, it should be that the meetings are held the second and fourth Wednesday of each month unless otherwise noted.
Where's that?
And
That-
no, that needs to be
Yeah,
added.
That, we should add
Okay.
that.
Yep,
Yeah.
Just because we have a couple fifth Wednesday meetings.
Yep.
This month.
Yeah.
and then is that the time that we want to end board,
Yeah, we're just
end meetings
guessing.
is 8:30?
We're just guessing on
Okay.
an
The
estimation.
policy that's important is the one that states that you can't open a new topic after the end time
Of
unless
10.
you get a 2/3 vote from the board.
Yeah.
So it currently says 10, it's on for tonight to move that back to 8:30.
Okay,
So we moved the meeting to
That's
start
early.
an hour earlier and then I guess
Okay.
the end to end an hour and a half earlier.
Ty, do I need a comma between month and unless?
no, that seems early.
I think if we're moving
No,
the
it's
beginning of
all
the
one
meeting back
clause.
an hour, then the ending time should just be moved back an hour.
1 hour, not, yeah, 8:30 seems weird.
So 9, so this would change to 9. and the other
9.
one would change to 9 when we get there.
You want it to
Okay.
be 9?
9, yeah.
Sure.
We can
Although, I
always end
mean-
it earlier, Jody.
Yes,
Got it.
Okay,
I'll do my best.
okay.
0, Nora.
There's suggestions on top of suggestions.
So those two changes, I
Start over.
think,
They don't need to go in front of the board if anybody, if consensus wise.
right, I think the final time change on the other policy will, but this
Yeah.
one's just a preference for application, I think that's fine.
All good? All right, so that one's gonna
I
go
feel
by,
like this is just putting this into alignment with the other one.
yeah, that we haven't done yet, but we will.
So is this one a revised, doesn't need to go before the board, I'm adding my revised date.
Okay. Moving on
Cruising
to,
right through.
move to trying, BEDI,
BE.
BE.
I was gonna say, wait, hold on.
Gotta keep me straight here, that's why we have a vice chair. All right, I have a lot of tabs open, that's part of my problem. All right, so Steve is saying, approve as recommended, so she's got, this is another time change here,
Yeah.
where is it?
Just the
7 to
beginning
6, right in the
first.
first regular meetings.
Yep, starting at 6, I think we should
Yeah, this
accept
isn't
this
the
change.
one that changes the end, that has an end time in it.
On the second and fourth Wednesday of each month unless otherwise set by
Yeah.
action of the school board.
Yep, so that's good, by consensus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
All we're doing is adjusting the start time.
Now we're on BEDI. Okay. This one looks like there's
There's a couple changes here.
a couple changes, one cross-reference change. Looks like that was the wrong cross-reference change, maybe. Oh, wait.
KI visitors to the schools. School board relations with.
Did we get rid of KDD?
Let me look, I have the manual open. KDD, you say, JK. That's there. Let's see. I think it's just because the only cross-reference on the MSMA sample is KI.
Oh,
she's just-
so she might have switched it because of that.
And let's see,
Would I see KDD?
KI.
There's no, there isn't any
Yeah,
reference
and we
to-
have KI, so
So should we keep them both?
let me look at the media one.
Media
Because that one
one,
seems pertinent. I don't
It
see
does.
why visitors to school is pertinent to this one.
I don't
Other
think it
than
hurts to
If you come to a
cross-reference.
school board meeting, you need to be following the visitors to the schools policy, so that's probably adding it, not changing.
I agree. I think adding it makes more sense than. Agreed.
To half accept the suggestion.
And then the other change is just, instead of,
He doesn't have to write, he doesn't have to submit the full meeting minutes. If
Yeah.
Steve was here, I think that's probably what he does rather than the minutes, he would do a summary.
Yep.
I assume
I'm
that's
good
why
with
he wrote, like, that's okay, he approved that as written. What do we think? Does that, I don't think that needs to go in front of the full board.
Yep.
Anybody have a different opinion?
No, I don't think it's enough.
Okay,
We're calling it revised.
yes.
This next one's the one you were talking about, Adam.
Yeah, adjournment.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on BEDL. Yes, but I think we're gonna do it by 9, not 8:30.
Correct.
So,
Adjourned by 9.
yep,
The MSMA sample says 10:30.
yeah, that's excessive.
Yeah, what time do they start?
It doesn't have a start time.
Two-thirds vote.
Yep.
So the board members in attendance, yes.
It's also
9
9
PM
PM curfew will be continued, maybe continued beyond that point.
That
So
makes
it
sense.
it's just saying you can't start something new.
Yeah.
Right, and if you're in the middle of something, you can
You
go
can
past 9 to finish
continue.
it, and probably that you should.
Right, right. I think for obvious reasons, this would need to go in front of the board.
Yes.
Yeah, I make a motion to put that in front of the board.
Is there a second? Second. All right, any discussion on it? All in favor? All right, that one will go in front of the board. All right, next up,
We actually could put these on next week's agenda, maybe.
BG.
These are the ones that
First
say-
sheets have to go underneath
This
the
is about us.
second.
Yeah.
Of course, the policy written by us would say we're the most important.
Yeah. That suggestion.
Right.
If Mark was still here, what would he say? Did I, BG? Oh, I made a note and I said the paragraph after the big addition needs punctuation or something. It reads weird. Those are my notes.
Which paragraph?
I said the paragraph after the big addition. So would be now the third paragraph. I think it needs punctuation.
Not the paragraph that was added.
Not the paragraph that was added, the one after.
The correct punctuation is there.
It is? Oh, good.
Those are just lengthy sentences that both have two different lists in them, which makes them very wordy.
Got
but
it.
Applicable to the first clause in each sentence.
Okay, perfect. My brain
So
was
correct but
not.
not good is what you're saying?
Not great.
No.
I think most
Can I
English-
get an awk all
most
day long?
English teachers would definitely have you hack that one up and try again.
We run that one through AI.
How about a bulleted list?
Yeah, right. How do we feel about a bulleted list?
Right.
Um,
One of the few times that a list of 3 doesn't require an Oxford comma.
That's why he's on. Forgot this.
I'm gonna be Mark tonight and say that I'm not sure how I feel about the paragraph after that, that starts with, it is the school board's intent that its policies set goals.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I don't like, I mean, I don't like
There
it.
should not be
The school board's
intent.
responsibility.
Right,
Or the school board's policies.
set goals and provide direction.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that, Nora. I like what you said.
School board's policies,
Policies.
set goals and provide direction.
Yes. I like that better.
Yeah.
Do we, and then moving on to the next paragraph. Does that need, like, do we need an explanation? Like the need for a new policy or revision may arise, oh wait, no, never mind.
I mean, I think you can get rid of the first sentence, but
Okay,
that we regard policy development and review as an ongoing process. I don't know.
Could, but
I mean, you could leave it. It doesn't really make a difference, but.
unlike Mark, I kind of like when we have some intent in here, that for future policy, committee members to understand that's why we, have the process to review all the policies at a regular basis and everything else.
Do we need that first sentence though?
What about the, I think Adam's saying he wants it, but what about in the, I'm bumping back to the second paragraph where it starts with, it's the intent of the school board.
Uh-huh.
Do we like intent in that paragraph?
We already changed it.
Yeah, it's gone.
There's another intent.
There's another one.
In the second paragraph up at the top.
We have a lot, we have
Oh,
more
way
intent.
It just
We have a
says
lot of
Oh,
intent.
we're going way
the
back.
school board
Sorry.
will develop written policies.
Yeah, we don't want any intent.
Or the school board develops written policies to serve as the foundation.
Honestly, why am I lost?
Like the school, yeah, the school board develops written policies that will serve as the foundation for this.
That will or to serve. I kind of like to serve. As the, I mean, that's what they
Yeah, I-
are. I guess I don't have an opinion on that will or to. Anyone?
The school board will is the verb you want to use there.
That will
Will
serve.
serve. Will. I like will. Maybe get rid of that. And to.
Will serve.
So what are you saying? The school board
As the
develops
foundation.
written policies?
That
Will serve as
yeah,
the
as the
foundation.
foundation. That's what we have written here.
Yeah.
No. I thought you said you can't put a sentence to make sense.
Oh, yeah.
You have to leave it in.
You have to leave that.
Yeah,
That
leave
will
that.
serve. Okay. All right.
Maybe just for me to understand it, but.
Any other changes?
The large added portion that we kind of skipped over, usually we discuss what's the purpose of adding it. I assume it's an MSMA piece. I don't know if it really changes anything in it. I'm fine leaving it in because, we should be somewhat standardized with them.
Yeah.
Anything that is not, we didn't kind of read through it closely. Or is there any other purpose in it other than it's just
I,
explanation?
I think it's the
it is
definition.
part of the MSMA sample.
And it's
I
the
think it would read
definition.
better if it just said the school board's policies set forth the purposes. I'm like, why do we have, can we get rid of some of these words? And prescribe in general.
Oh.
Change anything.
I liked it, so I didn't make a comment about it.
Yeah, and I'm not against it. I
Yeah,
just want to
that's
make sure it wasn't, usually when we have a sentence like that, we just want to make sure it doesn't change the impact.
Right.
feel like
The note
that's
of
so
that, just because
word-
the language seems a little different than some of the other language. The note in the MSMA policy talks about the source of the definition as being the NSBA's publication, Becoming a Better Board Member. So that was language that was
I gotta
pulled.
get on Amazon and order that. She like reading.
Okay.
So I'm good as it stands.
Being as this is the most important thing, should we bring this to the full board?
I would say yes.
Okay. Are you gonna?
I feel like there's a significant enough changes in here.
And even bringing it just to make board members aware of it.
Right,
I was gonna say,
because,
Yeah.
I
because
don't think
this
we
is
changed
about
much,
a
but-
policy.
Yeah, the intent isn't, there isn't any change in intent.
but it's important enough that the board should understand that this is the process. I think the next one's gonna be a little juicier.
Okay. Are you making a motion? for that?
I make a motion. to
Okay.
Take this to the first read.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that? Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, bring that to the board.
This is the one I spent the first 5 minutes of the discussion on the last one looking at.
All right, we are moving on to BG-R. We could start at the top, but my initial note when I was reading it the other day was, why are we deleting the option for board members to pull forward a policy for review? I feel like sometimes we do that. Board members do that.
Say that one more time.
Let me see where it was.
I think it's because
Item 1 covers it.
because item 1 allows pretty much anybody
Mhm.
to submit policy suggestions and concerns to the policy committee.
There is,
I'm literally
though,
reading the wrong policy.
That's what I did last
change.
time.
So that, I agree with that. So the first, in section 1, there's a change that basically covers board members already, so.
Members of the public may.
Although it
Submit
is board
policy
members,
suggestions
committees,
and
members of the
concerns.
public,
Mhm.
can bring it forward to the policy committee. But
Right.
the second paragraph in 2, basically gives a board member something some action if the policy committee decides not to take action.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the policy committee can stop all policy that they don't want to happen from happening, and the board can't do
Right.
anything about it. So I
Yeah.
don't think we can delete that paragraph.
I don't think we should delete it either. I'm not comfortable deleting that.
Let me look at the sample.
I think it's not in the sample,
It's not?
when I looked at it. But I agree with Adam that we're not the end all be all group on policy. Somebody could bring it to a full board if they really, and should be able to.
Yeah, and it does mitigate, so I guess you could say that other policies, if you read them closely, where you could submit agenda items to the board chair, so technically, I guess I could submit a policy adjustment or a new policy to the board chair, which would meet that policy, but then it would violate kind of this policy. What I do like about it is it does say the proper process is to bring it before the committee first and follow that process, and only if you don't agree with the direction the policy goes, the committee goes, then you can bring it to the board.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jody, in all your years on the board, has that ever come up as an issue?
Never.
And probably like removing this language doesn't mean that a school board member isn't able to request that a policy is put on the agenda following that other process.
Right. But it makes it a little less
But
clear, I
it makes
think.
it, yeah, it certainly makes it less clear. So I think that's more what, like taking that language out, that may be why it's not in the MSMA sample, that it just isn't something specifically referenced there. But
Right.
if we feel like it's important that people know they have that option, then it would make sense to keep it in.
And it's also one of those situations, we talk about this a lot with, the leadership that we have now in administration and on the board. I don't think that this would ever be an issue where it would come to policy and not be resolved and not discussed or whatnot, but the next superintendent or the next board chair, and you just kind of have to think about what if things were different. And so you don't want to say like, well, that's, that wouldn't happen now, so we can,
Can't rely on norms, is that what you're saying?
right, yeah. Certainly can't. So you just never know.
Right, for now, if somebody said, I want to look at this policy, we would, I think that as a group, we would look at it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean in 6, 7, 8 years that the next person might be like, we already did. Or, who knows?
Yeah. So I would make a recommendation, we leave that language in. I don't think there was there's other changes, but I don't know if there's anything else I picked up on as.
That's the only thing I picked up on when I read through it. I was like, oh, I love
I'm fine with Steve having to write stuff instead of us. Just kidding.
that.
Oh, I did have a question. So in page 2, section B, I think it's a new section. Policy committee explained the proposed change. The school board discusses a vote to acknowledge the first reading. And then it says, any changes to the policy agreed to by consensus or by vote on a motion to amend shall be made prior to the second reading. And then when I was reading that, I was wondering, does that mean that you can't, once you come to the second reading, you can't make changes to the policy? You can either accept it or decline it and start over? Because I've always been under the impression that the second reading was really where we could have a lot more discussion. Because at the first reading, no one's had any context for it yet. They've seen it in their agenda, but they don't necessarily, haven't had the discussion to understand maybe the change or the significance or whatever. So we wouldn't know to make a change. So the only way to make a change at that point would be to do it if we had a meeting in between, or ask the committee chair to make a change in between meetings. So I just want to make sure it doesn't do that. I wasn't sure if that's what it implied.
Any changes to the policy agreed to by consensus.
It does say in C that amendments may be introduced and acted upon, so I guess maybe that what the section there is just saying that if changes were made before the first reading, they need to be acted upon.
And
There
does-
needs to be a vote and a motion and a vote, sorry.
Yeah, does that mean we have to vote as a committee, does that mean that we have to vote on any changes before it goes for the second read? Like, do we have to meet if somebody decides that they want to change?
Policy committee chair will explain the proposed policy. The school board may discuss the substance and a vote shall be held to acknowledge the first reading. Okay. Any changes agreed to by consensus or by vote on a motion to amend shall be made prior to the second reading.
The only thing I can think that is if we change something when we're doing the first reading, we want to make sure the change is written in and then.
Right,
we'll
that's,
make the
I think that you
change.
might be right, is that, but
So it's clear before the second reading.
yeah, but I don't think I've ever come across a situation where at a first read, somebody makes a motion to amend the policy. But, I mean, it could
I
happen.
agree. Typically, it's that discussion on the second round that becomes the.
Right, or, you say, if you have any questions or want any changes, let the policy committee know and they can discuss it and we can bring it back.
So should we take that sentence out?
Yeah, because it's weird, because then at C, it says that, when it comes back for a second read, amendments may be introduced and acted upon.
Any changes to the
So,
policy agreed to.
I
by
don't,
consensus
that doesn't make sense. I
or by vote
don't
on
understand
motion to
that
amend
process.
shall be-
Is that what
Right.
the
If it's for,
Yeah, I would
I
like
feel
to
like
take
it's
that
very-
sentence out.
Yeah.
Because, the next one, it talks about the second read,
amendment.
and then amendments may be introduced and acted upon.
Yeah.
So that sentence, that doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think I know what it was trying to do, but
Yeah.
at least when I read it the first time, it confused me enough that.
Me too, but I didn't write it down for some reason, but yeah,
I had to read that a couple of times.
Right.
yeah, okay. And under D, we have the superintendent will be responsible for making new and revised policies available to school board members. He's not here. Do we change that to Steve or Amanda?
That's
Or-
following adoption. So once the board has adopted the policy, it's saying
Okay.
it's his responsibility to post that and make it available to you, which some of these policies reference a CD, which I thought was funny. Or hard copies to principals. It's like an and or thing, but they just get posted to the website. So it's just affirming his responsibility.
Okay, so that's okay to still be him because it's after it's been adopted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I mean, this references school board members should update their policy manuals. I mean,
We don't print them all.
even I just have the B policies. Those are the only ones that I have printed.
And
But
you
I don't
gave-
have like a full policy manual. That would be crazy.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you either, but they might be in binders on her
Read the
shelf.
night before she goes to
Um,
bedtime stories.
I read them out loud.
So We can leave this in here because it says or by other means, which can be the link to the
That
website.
and/or, yeah.
Okay, as long as that's still clear. If the, well, then it says if
The board member,
that sentence isn't right.
yeah, that's not right.
If the school board member has access to,
It's
What?
If school board member access to the policy manual will be online.
oh,
The superintendent, I tried to make the paragraph,
I
Make
couldn't
it all
do it
together.
without using her whole
I'd have to-
either. I worked
yeah.
with that. for a while.
It does make sense. It's
Okay,
just-
okay.
It's making sure that we know how to access the policies.
Yep. okay, perfect.
On CD.
I think this one
I can't
definitely
wait.
needs to go in front of the board.
Yes.
This one definitely needs to go in front of the board.
She's responsible for going through and making.
So make a motion to take this to the board for a first read.
Is there a second? Can I second? I
Yeah.
can second? Oh, good. I'm seconding that. Okay, so we're gonna send BG-R to the board.
All in favor?
Any discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor? I remember voting.
Oh,
on
this
those.
board is gonna love you.
I know.
All these first reads. And I'm gonna be like, oh.
I'm not
running policy anymore, it wasn't me.
Oh my God. Okay.
14 first reads.
Okay, moving on to BHC. This one, let's see. Looks like a little bit of just MSMA alignment wording changes here. Adding assistant principal, because it was just principal. We have assistant principals at all schools now, right?
Almost.
Not all.
A couple of the elementaries don't, but.
No, observations from the administration on changes we should make on this one? I can't think of any, but
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
I don't think the one sentence that she struck out under school board and teachers I don't think it changes the
no,
intent of the policy.
I agree.
Everybody good on moving this one? You're still reading?
I'm good.
No, good.
So we're good with just moving this forward the way it is, accepting the changes?
Yes.
All right. Great. Okay, moving on. Here on BIA.
New member orientation.
Oh.
My question on this is for Jody, actually.
Yeah.
We have to do that training every 3 years.
You have to do it every time you're elected
Oh.
and sworn in.
Yeah, so is that happening?
I have mentioned it several times at board meetings that it needs.
Policy committee members read the policy.
And I have mentioned it several times that when you are elected, re-elected, appointed, you have to do the freedom of access training within 120 days. Now, is it happening? I'm not sure because I don't have school board member files. I do know that a recently re-elected school board member did give me paperwork that she completed it, so.
At least
it-
one didn't.
Hasn't been 120.
And I'm
days.
thinking like, did I do it? I'm pretty sure that I did. Did I give somebody the paper? That I don't know. So it may just be a matter of putting like not a change to policy, but a procedure in place where somebody's keeping tabs on that. Because I don't have access, I don't have the school board member files. They're in the superintendent's office. So it's something that kind
I-
of needs to be flagged.
Yeah, I think it definitely needs to be flagged. I also feel like if there's a link to that, like how do you even get to I mean, I guess we don't have a procedure for this one, right? would we need a procedure?
I don't think so.
We can just, I mean, is there like a link? Like how do
I
people
wouldn't want to put
access
the,
it
I wouldn't want to put the link in the
into the
policy, but it's a link that we could put, you know, on the school board section of the website or something like that, where it would be, you know, a link to the freedom of access training and the form that needs to be completed. I don't see why that couldn't go on the website. I wouldn't want to put it in policy, but.
Okay,
There's another policy BIC might be worth.
BIC is too. I have BIA and BIC, both.
Yes, but there's some reference there.
Oh, school board member freedom of access training, so there you go.
Okay. The superintendent will remind school board members. That's a new paragraph, so.
Well, good. I'll cross that right off mine. I've been reminding.
Fortunately, I've got a flag.
I've been reminding, and I don't know if it did any good.
So MSMA says.
Right.
Adam, consider yourself reminded.
Right.
Not the full board though.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I feel like this should go in front of the
So
board.
that you could flag that as a.
Does anybody else think so? Or no, we have enough people that, I mean, everyone gets elected somebody gets elected every year.
I don't see any big changes on this other than the C, which isn't really a change in,
It's just adding that. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, yes, we do need to remind the rest of the board that maybe during report out of what we discussed in policy, so we don't have to give.
I just don't think it needs to be a first read.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So we
I
don't have
like-
to give them another first read.
Yeah,
You can say, in lieu of giving you another first read.
Right.
Friendly reminder.
Otherwise, we're gonna have
Yes.
people switching
I've
meetings
changed-
just to join this one, the board's off of it.
Right.
I've changed one flat tire in the last
Yeah.
week. I would like to keep that.
perfect. Yeah, no, I agree. I'll report out on that one specifically.
Okay.
As a reminder. Okay, great. No changes though, other than that, other than what's already suggested.
I don't see anything.
All right. Moving on. EIB.
Oh, boardsmanship. It's always a hot topic.
Yep. I didn't see anything
No.
that really struck out at me.
There's not much change in here at all.
Mm-mm.
Any change we need to make? I can't think of anything.
I couldn't think of anything on this one. No. So good to accept the changes, these little additions there. Great.
Study reference, we're self-aware that we need to do better at developing our skills, but the policy's not gonna do that by itself.
Yes. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, I see.
Yep, here's
We'll be
B.
talking at HR about school board goals.
Great. All right, now we're on BIC.
And the website's there.
Oh, yeah.
It is there. Yep, perfect.
I didn't know that.
So I will make a note of that, where to find that during my report out
Mhm.
in policy BIC. Okay. Everybody good with,
Yeah, I'm just sending myself a note to go do it.
Because the cross-reference crossed out BIA. What the heck is my?
Yeah, I don't know why that wouldn't be cross-referenced.
Yeah, I think it should be.
Is cross-referencing BIP, which we haven't even gone to yet.
Well, that happens.
Maybe that's why maybe BID is a replace, because it's.
Replacement, because it looks like it's the same.
See, BID is school board member compensation and expenses. I think that
That's
might
a
just be an error.
okay.
Yeah,
typo.
I think it
Okay.
should be
So it should just keep it with the BI.
BIA.
BIA.
Let me just check that that's what it is.
Yeah, BID is compensation.
BIA.
Yes,
Yeah, BIA, new school board member.
ADB.
Yeah.
Public right to know.
BID, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it, K what?
ADB.
ADB.
I think that's the FOIA one.
Yeah.
Public's right to know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We just gotta get rid of that.
Okay, so BIC is,
BID goes away and,
oh, we've got a BI, oh, we have it.
yeah, but it's not what they
It
have
needs to be
here.
BIA.
Yeah, it should be BIA.
Nora's got it.
But I rejected the wrong suggestion.
Undo.
We want to get rid, BID is not correct, right?
Correct. We wanna get rid of that. Correct. So we wanna get rid of
Get rid
BID.
of that, and then we want to keep this, but when I rejected this, because he said to add it, so I want to accept it. And I want to reject deleting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks good, looks
All
good,
right,
okay.
all right, everything's fine.
All right,
Revised date.
so,
Yeah.
okay,
This is a change to the form.
Yep. BIC-E is the form. I mean, I think it looks great.
That actually is the form I think that is on the website that is.
Perfect.
I
So
might
it's
be
just
wrong.
coming into
Also has a website on it.
alignment.
Perfect. Yep, yeah, exactly.
Then
I think, yeah, required by, and yeah. So I think that is good. I'm fine with accepting that.
Me too.
Yep.
Okay. Great. Moving right along, look at us.
Is we don't have dates on the forms? I thought we started putting dates on the forms.
Dated this day of, oh, no, we don't have dates on forms. No, we don't.
No, okay.
Okay. Now we're on BID. For this one,
I think that figure is too high.
are you kidding? Most of us donate most of it to the
Yeah.
scholarship fund anyway. We give it to the children.
Obviously, if anything, it's far too low. Couldn't waste the opportunity.
Did you see that look that she gave you though?
It's a look I've gotten a lot of.
My first year as board chair, I think I attended 120 something meetings that first year.
Wow.
And that stipend,
Worth every penny.
yes. And that's why I ran again for reelection.
Yeah, I don't need a part-time job. I just come to policy
Right.
committee.
Yep.
Okay, so my question, wait, where was I? Special meetings. But I was thinking also that we should add and board events, because sometimes we have,
So I'm not sure why you would remove an emergency meeting.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that the getting rid of the school board authorizes part, that's fine.
Yes.
Like a stipend of 25 per meeting for each school board member is authorized. Payment made for attendance at all regular meetings, like regular meetings, special meetings, and emergency meetings, when minutes are prepared and accepted. I'm not a big fan either of eliminating that last sentence.
For attendance at school board subcommittee meetings as a member or when serving as a substitute.
Because you also get your stipend for committee meetings.
And if you serve as a
Say-
substitute for somebody else.
It's a regular meeting, but I think that just adds clarity.
Right.
yeah,
Any individual school board member may waive their stipend at any time. I don't know why we would take that out.
but then there's
I think it
also,
might be because you can't actually do it.
wait,
You
what?
can, but I tried my first year and was not able to, so. You can
I thought-
donate it,
I thought that you could.
but waiving it is,
You can't not collect it.
Yeah, you can't.
It has to
not
all
have
go
it.
into the scholarship if you
You have to,
don't want to get any compensation.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
I think you have to take it
Same room experience.
like, for a weird example, but, I volunteer to count ballots in Alfred because we still do everything by hand. And, they have to pay me minimum wage for like the 1 hour I'm counting. I can't just say I don't need the $12 or whatever it is, because you have to get paid.
Right.
So we probably have to get paid.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Beth, adding a sentence that states, something along the lines that a school board member also receives a stipend for attending, not even
Right.
attending, for any time they're serving as a board member, because you could be,
Interviews. I wrote interviews as one,
yep,
MSMA conference.
Graduation.
you don't get a stipend for the conference.
Oh, I can't remember. Again,
I mean,
I thought it was 24 a day.
maybe, I don't know. I don't think I've ever put in for a stipend for the conference.
I don't know if I
But
did.
like minutes, or if it's, the public forum for budget, or
Right.
the budget vote at the middle school, all of those things that you go to and you are there as a board member, you should receive a stipend.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
So-
too. So I put special meetings, blah, 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 and board events.
Do you think this should be a bulleted list? And so we're already at.
Right.
So
Like it-
regular meetings and for attendance at special and emergency meetings when minutes are prepared and accepted, and for attendance at school board subcommittee meetings as a member or as a substitute. So then if we're saying and for,
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a stipend of $25 for each school board member is authorized for the following,
Right,
boink, and then you do your bulleted list.
I like that.
Or
I like
for, is authorized for attendance at the following.
Committee meetings.
Right, regular meetings, special meetings, emergency meetings, subcommittee meetings as a member or when serving as a substitute, that can be one bullet.
Yeah.
We need to define better though, when you guys are talking about, board events or whatever, because like, an example is if I went to a different committee meeting, that's technically a board event, but I'm not on the committee, so I'm not serving as a board member, I'm just there.
Well, I think we put working as a
As a
substitute.
substitute.
Because I plan on
Right, but
attending.
for that specific one, right, but there's so many other things that you could attend technically as a board member that are open to the public, whatever else that board
Right.
members have to go to. So is there a definition we have to include about whether it's
If you're,
part of your,
if it's something that you're attending and you're serving as a board member, I think that that's the distinction. If you decide to come to a committee meeting where you're not subbing for somebody in your town and you're not on the committee, and you just choose to come to it,
That wouldn't count.
then you're not necessarily serving as a board member, as opposed
in the
to,
public forum, whatever, for budget, right? I'd go as a committee member, I mean, as a community member.
right,
I-
But-
you know,
you should get a stipend for that,
Mhm.
I never put in for it because I didn't,
because you're already
As a
trying to
committee
waive
member.
your stipend.
I'll take it.
Right,
there's lots of bullet somewhere here.
yeah,
Okay, so other events at which they is not the right word. Or at which school board members are serving in that capacity or are attending in that capacity?
Or attending in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah, I think
I don't wanna add
Nora's right,
complication, just wanna make sure it's.
serving in their role as a school.
It's really a matter, like, we want it to do two things. We want it to make board members that they are aware that if they come to something because they're on the board. I think that that's kind of the feeling of, like, if you go to adult ed graduation, simply because you are on the school board and you feel like you should be there as a school board member, then I think that you should receive a stipend for that. If it's that situation of, if I wasn't on the board, I wouldn't go. Sort of, but, and then other events where you're expected to go because you're a school board member, like the budget vote at the middle school, or like the public forum for the budget, or those types of things where it's not mandatory, there's no attendance, there's no agenda, nobody's following up, but you're expected to be there as a board member. But it also flips that in that, don't expect a stipend because you felt like going to the play at the high school or a football game and you're like, oh, I'm a school board member and if I wasn't on the school board, I wouldn't go to the football game.
Right.
It's kind of it's wishy-washy, I know, but I feel like any reasonable person would be able to say like, yes, I'm here because I'm on the board.
Yeah, for, like, I went to the community forum about the cell phone things, but I went as a parent, so I'm not gonna put in for a stipend for
yeah,
that
right.
because I have a vested interest in that thing as a parent, I wasn't going because I'm on the school board, so
And if you weren't on the board, you still would have gone.
I still would have gone, yes.
Do we wanna add in, do we wanna say other approved events or something like that, just to put a little adjective in there that would give some grounds to say, no, you choosing to go to the football game is not. Will you have a stipend?
Eventually, I think, does that open up though? It's not like Jody's approving everyone's submissions for stipends. I'm
Right.
assuming.
Right. I think there's a
Yeah.
question, then they would just ask.
I do think probably not all board members know exactly what they could put in for,
For sure.
so it's worth a conversation.
Right. And I think a lot of board members
Right.
don't care, like if they get one or not, like it's not a priority.
I don't imagine anyone has been elected to the school board for the money. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, it happens a lot, but yeah, don't think that that's,
I didn't know there was a stipend when I joined.
I didn't either. I was like, I'm getting paid for this. I had no idea.
And then you were like, wait a minute, not really.
Oh, wait, how many committee meetings? I thought it was one
Right.
a month.
Is this?
yeah.
It's a lot of restructure, but we really only added the last bullet point and then restructured things. Is this enough that we need to bring in front of the board?
Or should I could just report out on it.
I think it's just clarity. It doesn't change intent, but it's good to bring up that, hey, if you're not sure, read the policy.
Yeah, I would report out on it for sure, but
Okay.
I don't think it needs to go in front of the board.
I don't think,
We're not changing anything, we're just bulleting it.
I thought we were gonna add a 0 to the stipend.
We can't, Maine State statute. I actually,
I know someone that
I
makes 10.
double checked to see if that's changed and nope,
If we could get double.
it's between 10 and 25. We could lower it if you
Yeah, I
want.
know somebody on a school board that's getting 10.
Okay, excellent.
And if we wanted to increase it, we have to submit the recommendation to the voters for approval.
Yeah.
Oh, they
I'm
would
good.
never.
I'm all set.
We're
thanks.
not doing that.
The question must say, do you favor paying a member of the regional school unit board of directors compensation at the rate of blank for each meeting that the member attends?
Nope,
I'd keep the 25, well, you got it.
that's the next thing coming up on the budget.
Hmm.
Just kidding. Okay, great. So moving on. EEA-R. So this one is coming in front of us because for obvious reasons, we don't have a transportation committee. So,
And I started to change this, but I know it doesn't have good flow. Cause I started and then I wanted to get back to it and then I didn't,
yes.
but
Yes, so,
you're like, yeah.
well, and my notes said the appeal just goes to the full board. So your wording is probably better, but let's actually figure it out here. Yeah, that's what I would have changed it to.
Yeah, the only thing that maybe is the last sentence where it says, all decisions rendered by the transportation director shall remain in effect unless changed by a higher authority. We could have that just be, all decisions rendered by the transportation director shall remain in effect unless changed by the RSU 57 school board. The decision made by the school board is final.
Yeah. Yeah, because they may then go to the superintendent who doesn't have the authority to do that. It would be the school board,
I think
unless
you
we gave
also-
him the authority.
I think you also need some clarity in the beginning of that sentence, so appeals to the board of directors on the transportation director's decision shall be made by submitting the route variance appeal form. I think it would be helpful to have that sentence reworked so that it's to the board. You submit the form to the board.
Would be the,
I know it's
Board chair.
implied, but I just think that
Yeah.
that rewording it to make that a little more clear.
If you did it, appeals
Shall be
on the
made.
transportation director's decision shall be made by submitting route variance appeal forms to the RSU 57 school board of directors within 30 days.
Sure.
Is that what you're saying?
Sure, and how? Is that via email? Is that a certified letter?
I don't
I would
know. I
say
couldn't
through the-
find the
through the
route
board
variance
writing or
form to
something.
see what that says.
I would say through the board chair.
I went looking this afternoon for the route variance form and couldn't find it. So I don't know. I'm hesitant to
There
make too
is
many
one, I've
changes
seen
to
it.
this because I don't know what that form says.
I've seen one in transportation, so.
Yeah, I think,
Does the form also educate the person on their appeal, process?
Yeah, so that would need
Basically the
revision as
policy.
well, because
Right.
it says an appeal to the decision made by the transportation coordinator may be made to the superintendent within 15 days.
So we have
Oh,
to
so
break-
And transportation committee, so that needs to be,
Right.
is that a policy?
it's just a
form?
form and
Yeah.
there's no like dash R or anything, it's not
Yeah.
a.
So we don't have, do we have to go through that or can Richie go through that?
So I think this would be what we dealt with before with transportation, someone would fill out this route variance appeal and they would provide all the information. What's the present one? What do you want? What's the rationale, et cetera? There's a space for that action, which would be, that's ultimately the form that results in the action. So I think, yeah, the appeal, what do we want that format to look like?
Right.
Would have to come through us.
Or what is it? Is it just a like submission of that form to say I'm appealing this decision?
Right. I think that
Simply a statement?
what's on this form, the only thing, so it says an appeal to the decision made by the transportation coordinator may be made to the superintendent within 15 days of their action. If you desire an appeal, please sign and return this form with any other information you feel would be helpful to the superintendent and the transportation committee, which can be changed to the school board in making their decision. The transportation coordinator, that should also be director.
Yeah, there's.
The transportation coordinator will contact you with your meeting date and time. So that kind of, and then it says an appeal to the decision made by the transportation committee may be made to the school board of directors within 30 days of the committee's action, but that part can be taken out.
But also, should we put that part, the first part you said where it has to go, can go through the superintendent within 15 days, that needs to be put into this J.
Yeah, so they appeal it to the superintendent who brings it to the board. So it's almost like we need to take, right, so it's almost like we need to take the wording from the form
Yes.
and plug it in here, that they submit a route variance request form to the transportation director. And then an appeal to the decision, who, makes a
Appeals to the
decision.
RSU
So-
57 School Board of Directors
Right,
on the
but,
Transportation Director's decision.
so that would be,
I like that phrasing in the form better than this
Like
phrasing.
Yeah.
appeals to the transportation director's decision shall be made by submitting to blah, 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 like the
We've got a lot of,
appeals to, there's a lot of.
Right. so transportation.
Yeah, that
Unresolved
paragraph
transportation
is like very.
may be appealed by submitting a route variance request form to the transportation director. And he gets 30 days to make a decision,
You have to, yeah, so 30 days
and then,
and they get,
And then they have to
and
make
then
a
appeal to
appeal
that
response.
decision.
within 15 days.
Okay. I'm gonna start an appeal
Also,
to
when to
the.
oh, you're gonna write it in here.
Made by
Then we can read it.
transportation director.
Because this says
may
30
be
days.
made to the
Not
superintendent
15.
And I wonder how much of that has to do with timing of, like, it needs to go on an agenda
Right.
Yeah,
and then it needs to have subsequent turnaround, so that would be the reason probably for that extension.
Yeah,
Do we need to?
but is it 15 days or is it 30 days? Are we dictated by law or
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I think it's
strictly
policy.
policy?
Yeah, it's policy.
And then also, do we need
This is
to,
not in the
put-
form they had.
do we need to, should we say all discussion will be during executive session, or does that matter? Because it is, right?
Yes.
Variance, yeah.
So these two need to make sure that they line up. So she's just
Yeah,
added the
she's
15
writing it in
days, so.
Okay, so transportation director shall provide written decisions. An appeal to the decision made by the transportation director may be made to the superintendent within 15 days of the date of their action. But see, then they don't, It's just a matter of like, now how do we get it from the,
Superintendent to us?
right? Right, because you're not really making an appeal to the superintendent. You're just communicating your appeal through the superintendent to the board, because
I mean, does he want the ability to approve or deny, or he doesn't want that?
I don't think he has
Has
the
the ability.
authority
No,
to
no,
do
no.
that.
He's
So-
essentially the conduit that got it to committee.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if we could give it to him. I mean, does he want it? Guess what, Steve? You listening? Just kidding.
It's, so they're not appealing to him, they're making a request. It's a request for appeal. It's a request for, right.
Yeah, to put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Right, so a request to appeal the decision made by the transportation director may be made to the superintendent within 15 days.
This also talks about meeting date and time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we need to, because that's on there. But it's just about,
So do we want to add a sentence in here that the superintendent will bring that appeal to the school board, who will make the final decision? Like, is that what the
Right,
process is?
I think so.
right,
So really this,
right, that whole sentence can probably go.
okay, except that the school board is making that decision within 30 days, so we may want to keep.
Right, so the request to appeal needs to be made within 15.
Right.
And then,
The
well, this is that the
So you
decision
can-
is submitting a form within 30 days. So it's,
don't think
it
that's
like
fair.
doesn't,
That's even, yeah. so
Yeah.
that's-
well, it's
so
because,
we should
yeah, so,
get rid of.
right, we can just get rid of all.
I mean, if we had all these 30 days in here, we'd be halfway to the next semester.
Yeah,
Right.
By the time somebody gets a
Which is
variance.
Who's on
good
transportation,
if
maybe
there's
appeal.
If it's a
extreme
pro,
need,
yeah, exactly, if there is an
Director shall
extreme
provide
need.
decisions on such appeals with- Appeal, the appeal.
We're peeling a lot of potatoes.
so what about changing this verbiage in this line that we added? A request to appeal the decision made by the transportation director may be made via the superintendent to the school board?
Or made to the
Within
school board by
something-
submitting to the superintendent.
Something along those lines, via the superintendent?
Because that's what it needs, is we need to get this, that like, if you want to appeal that decision, you need to contact the superintendent. Like, he's gonna bring it to the board.
Right.
Let me get him.
To the-
Made by the transportation director may be made to the school board
Submitting.
Yes.
by
and is it-
submitting.
Right,
The
submitting a
variance.
route variance request
Route
form
variance
Right, is that what
request
it's called?
form via
to the superintendent.
to the superintendent.
I like it.
Yeah.
Better.
Root, what's it called? Root variance appeal form?
Request form.
Request.
Root variance appeal and procedure.
Oh,
Appeal and
well,
procedure?
that's a different form than the route variance request form.
Oh, God.
So there's two forms?
So the route,
I think
Yes,
that's probably
so-
the same.
the route variance request form is the form
Yeah,
that
but
they
is
submit to
there
the
actually a
transportation
form, but
director.
does that form actually exist? Because the
Wow.
form that we have here looks like this is the only form, because it goes through and then action taken by transportation coordinator. and the date, and then if you want to appeal it from there. So I think that this is the only form.
Okay. And
So then this, anything that talks about the root variance request form in here is,
Needs to be,
So that's
needs
the
to be
same.
updated.
So where is
that's
that?
the same thing. So if you go on the transportation website.
okay. So unresolved.
So
transportation
root
problems.
variance appeal form?
They call it transportation route variance form, but it's titled route variance appeal and procedure.
Should we just call it a root variance
What's on the
form?
website is what Richie gave me today to put on the website.
Today?
Right, because I couldn't find it on the
Today, that's the whole form.
website. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Do we want to just take out the words appeal and request and just call it root variance form?
Because this form's gonna need to be fixed.
Yeah.
So,
We'll just
and it can be,
Name it that.
it can be renamed the root variance form or whatever we wanna. You figure out what you think root variance request.
Yeah, root variance request.
Because you're requesting.
You are.
it.
Okay, now I'm undoing my undos. This is turning into the biggest mess.
It's
And I'm
request- it
so
might be
bad
granted,
at like
not
the
need an appeal.
suggesting that I'm always just like, I'll just
Right,
type
might-
over it.
Right, it could be granted.
It could be granted.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Depending on the situation.
So they are appealed by submitting a route variance request form to the transportation director. Transportation director shall provide written decisions on such appeals. See, and I don't know.
I feel like 30 days is a really long time. I wonder,
Because if you're going, an unresolved transportation problem that you're bringing to the transportation director, that's not an appeal. So it's unresolved transportation problems may be,
Address.
yeah,
Addressed.
or not necessarily addressed, but what's the word?
The,
Considered?
unresolved.
Considered.
problems may be
Considered
or-
work.
submitted. by submitting.
Requested for review or something like, what's that word that we need? Because you're not appealing, because then the transportation director shall provide written decisions.
It's challenged. Unresolved transportation problems may be challenged by submitting a root variance request form
There you
to
go.
the transportation director.
There you go.
I'm okay with challenge.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with challenge. By submitting that form.
You guys okay with challenge?
And then the transportation director shall provide written decision within 30 days. So not on such appeals. We can get rid of on such appeals. I'm gonna stop making changes. Because then a request to appeal the decision made by the director may be made to the school board by submitting the root variance form to the superintendent within 15 days. All decisions rendered by the director shall be remain in effect unless changed by the school board. The decision made by the school board is final.
Should this there, we have so many
I don't think we need of
Routes,
their
should it
action.
be the transportation director's action? I think that we list transportation director, school board, superintendent, and then we say date of their action.
Right.
So it's the date of the transportation director's action or decision.
Decision,
Okay.
transportation director's decision.
Then we start and end with decision though.
Of course.
That's okay.
We
Just for
do.
being consistent.
This is gonna be like a really easy paragraph to fix. We're just removing transportation committee. How hard can it be?
We've completely redone the whole paragraph.
We should've-
We
yeah, we
have,
should've
but
just
we haven't
started
really
below.
changed
I was gonna
it.
say, there's like one line in the whole thing we haven't touched.
Right, but we really haven't changed.
I'm not a big fan of that line. I think we should.
So,
And I mean, somewhere there was then another 30 days that then a response would be given by the school board.
Oh, yeah.
Does that need to be included?
Was there?
Appeal to the decision made by the transportation committee may be made to the school board of directors within 30 days of the committee's action.
Yeah,
But
that
we're
was
getting
saying
rid
we
of
had to
that.
submit it.
Okay.
It was just not, the form said 15 and the policy said 30.
I mean, they can watch the meeting.
Well, the form says 15 and 30. So that you you appeal to the transportation committee within 15 days, and then after that, you have 30 days to go to the board. So I think
That's why
we,
there was two.
Okay, okay.
So now we're just giving 15 days from the first one to the second. We don't state anywhere, do we state in the form how long we have to address it on the agenda? And then the question is, should we? Because it, you know, want to create a burden, but also don't want to address a burden to a, you know, a community member because we don't get it on the agenda. Yeah, I'm thinking future state, this only says that the superintendent has to, that it has to be submitted to them.
I also feel like, sorry, Richie, if you're listening to this, but that the transportation director gets 30 days to make a decision,
I think that's a really long time.
but then
That's what
they
I
only
said.
get 15 days to decide whether they want to appeal it. Do you
My
think that
sense, my sense is that it needed to go to committee. So that would have been the reason for the 30 days, and we've just replaced committee with the director.
Oh, the transportation committee shall provide the decision within 30 days.
That's,
Right.
it's tough for them to turn it around quickly
Because
depending
they
on.
would
the-
need.
Right, because they only met
They
monthly.
they
Correct.
need they need 2 weeks, at least 15 days to actually do the research and look at the route and the costs and the impacts.
Right.
Bring that to committee,
Right.
and then committee consider that data and make a decision.
I wouldn't want to change that though without talking to Richie, just
Yeah.
to
No. I think it's fine.
like verify what do you need for what's reasonable time.
Right.
I agree. I don't want to shorten his
Yeah.
time without him.
No,
being
it just
here and
seems like a
having
long
input
time,
on it.
But
I mean, if
do
he
think
feels
it
like
only
I-
needs 15, then we should all do it because we don't want to
Right.
create a burden
Right,
on a community member.
agreed. Should we ask him before we bring it to the, do we need to bring it? I
Well,
don't
if
feel
we want
like,
to change that, I think we should check with them.
Yeah.
And I think once we change that, we're probably in the spot where we're, I don't know if intents really changed too much. It's
I don't
just
think
a-
I
it
mean,
has.
theoretically, no, the only thing that we've changed really is removing the transportation committee from this process.
correct. I don't think it
Right.
needs to
A
go in
committee
front
that
of the
doesn't
whole-
exist anymore.
Right.
All
So,
right, so I guess the question is, do we want to reduce it from 30 days? If so, then we have to bring it to the next meeting because we need to reach out to Richie. to
Yeah,
make
that
a
would be,
decision.
that would definitely be a major change, so.
Or we leave it at 30 and.
Or we leave it at 30 and it goes by consensus.
Right, that's to say he can have 30, but I don't, he's
Right.
probably not gonna take 30 days
right,
to
and what if
figure
they
out
submit
who's
the
gonna know
form,
everything.
I mean, and it doesn't say 30 school days, it doesn't, it just
Right.
says 30 days. So if
Yeah,
somebody
if they-
submits a variance form on December 20th and we tell him he gets 14 days.
Or if they
That's-
submit it on June 15th
Right.
and everything's changing and it's not reasonable to come up with something in 30 days.
I think we should leave it at 30, because yeah, I mean, if somebody fills out their form Thanksgiving week, I mean, that's, it gives them 2 weeks, so really,
Yeah.
maybe 3 to figure out if it's a possibility. So, okay, I like 30. Everybody else like 30? Okay,
Leave it.
okay. So do we need to send, I don't feel like we need to send this.
Only other piece that I had about this is there anything that we need to add in here about the new
That's right.
bus ride? Yes. I was trying to think of the name of it.
I don't think so, because we don't talk about the old one.
Okay.
Um,
I think if anything, it falls under some of the technology policies that they'll use different software
I
systems. to
wondered
track
if
it.
that
Yeah.
would be the balance there, so, okay.
yeah, agreed. I think we don't list which, what we're using for technology
Right.
in the policies. So, I don't think so.
Okay.
There is the first paragraph, it is the intent of RC 57.
Oh my gosh, get rid of it. We're not
We were too
intending,
focused on
I know.
we're not intending on
taking
things.
one thing out of a paragraph and making it 3 times
RC
as
57
long.
establishes
Yes.
bus routes, water business, blah, 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 blah.
I like that. Establishes bus, well, actually, we don't establish bus routes.
What?
We don't establish bus
Well,
routes.
not the school board, it just says RC 57.
Oh, 57. Okay, yeah. All right, got it.
You guys don't.
I was like, wait. hold
I
the
was trying to
train.
say that.
I'm like, I am not doing that. I am out.
There we go.
That is an impossible job.
Two more.
Cell phone.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on to JFCK-R, and this one I think is coming back because it needs to align with the other one, if I was reading.
Yeah, I just have to remove that second
Right.
section that references when they can use the electronic
Now,
devices.
here's my question. Do we need this policy? Did we talk about this when we changed JF? This policy, I feel like JFCK spells out the rules pretty clearly. And I feel like this is redundant. And it actually, this has less than what's in JFCK,
It
so,
was needed when there was variation in the policy across different levels
right.
and when there was actual allowance of cell phone use at certain times of the day. So it was needed because building principals, specifically Kelly and I, needed some flexibility in the policy to be able to apply school rules.
Mhm.
There's no flexibility that's needed now.
So you don't feel like we even need this policy?
The JFCK is comprehensive to the point where we were able to develop our own procedures and protocols that fit, the different actual physical building that you're in, whether that be the middle school, the high school.
Right.
Obviously less of a challenge to the elementary schools, but fourth and fifth graders are finding that to be a challenge for them now too as well. So I agree with Jody. I don't think it's needed.
Okay, so we
Make a motion to remove JFCK-R.
That has to go to the full
That has to
board.
go to the board.
Yep. Any second
For a deletion
deletion?
or removal or
I think,
Bring to the board for.
bring it to the board too.
okay. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor? Okay.
Just for a note, I would add JFCK, not as a consideration, but whatever is in the packet, the backup to that, so that board members can compare and see that JFCK is far more
It's far
comprehensive.
more comprehensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right,
All right.
last one.
Right.
Who seconded that?
Carmen did.
Carmen.
Carmen, okay, thank you.
Okay, last one, JJIC,
Update. 'cause
Sorry,
of-
that took so long.
and this one is, I have no idea.
Based
Ty.
on changes to the Mass
Oh,
Basic
because of
grading
the,
scale.
this is because of the grading scale.
Grading scale. Yeah,
And I'm going to defer to Ty
Section.
to know.
Allison's been
or
waiting with
Allison.
bated breath.
Oh, Allison, I'm so sorry. Yes, I will defer to you to know what any of these are.
So, as you know, we've changed our grading scale from 1 through 4 to 0 through 100. We've also changed our graduation requirements to a tiered graduation requirements. With this class of 2026 is gonna need 22 credits to graduate. Class of 2027 will need 23. And the class of 2028 will be the first class that need the full 24 credits. So the changes to this policy reflect both the grade scale change, but also our full credit change in our school district. So the major changes fall under B,
There's another document in there that's related just to
the updates.
JJIC updates
Yes.
that we added
Yep.
or provided, I think. Shane, I don't know if you can bring up the updates document. Yeah, there we go.
Coming, this policy.
yes.
This season.
So it goes over obviously what is currently in there, but the changes we are making, so for eligibility, for seniors taking 5 classes, they must pass all of their classes because 5 classes is the minimum amount of classes that they need to be a full-time student. And that is what's also written down below for fully enrolled status for seniors. Juniors is 6 classes. Freshmen and sophomore are, that should say 7 classes.
That shit you can
Yeah,
change. it.
7 classes.
Oh,
Seven classes. And so when a junior and freshman and sophomore are in a full schedule with the 6 and 7 classes, they are able to not pass one class and still be eligible. If a senior, for example, is in 6 classes and they fail that 6th class, they would still be eligible because they have passed 5, which is their full-time status. And so that is an update we have. We also have the failing grade update to be a 69 or below, and credit recovery eligibility is a grade between a 60 and a 69 for core classes.
Has it always been that in the past, students could be failing a class and still play?
My first year here, the eligibility policy was 0 failures, and we were the only school in the SMAA that had that policy, which at the time was restrictive for some students who were struggling academically. And so the policy committee and the board supported the change to allow for accountability to remain, but still for students to have some flexibility. The full-time definition or full-time status is something that's dictated by the MPA.
Mhm.
They do, shouldn't say allow, but they look to local school districts to, in that local control, to define what full-time status is, and ours needed to change because students went from a possibility of 6 courses when we had the straight 6 schedule to then 8 courses. And so it used to be, for instance, seniors were only 4 full-time courses, but when you added those 2 additional opportunities, by the MPA's definition, we also needed to increase those.
So with this change, we're just really updating to what our new grading and graduation requirements are. It's not changing intent or anything else. It's still, so I think it's just taking these changes, putting them into the policy.
And this was something that specifically I overlooked in the big push that we made in the sort of last 3 months of the school year. We did all the good work about the percentage change and made sure that with Shane's help, that Synergy could do the transfer for us. And so that all worked out well. And then Allison and I were meeting in August and realized that we were about to enter an eligibility period that our policy didn't reflect what we could actually do. So.
Yeah, you're not changing any wording, it's just numbers.
Correct.
Right?
Just
Yep.
numbers.
Yep.
This, did you say it has the graduated timing on it, or does that not need it?
So that's not that's a different graduation policy that Allison described. It's all in a different graduation policy. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
And you did that policy.
We did
Yes.
that policy last year because, well, prior to the start of the 24-25 school year, to align with 8 blocks.
Yes, that's what I thought. And grading too.
No, grading was at the end of the 24-25 school year.
Do
And
we
then,
need to bring that policy up next?
so that's actually not a policy. A grading scoring practice is specific to schools and doesn't actually have the overview of the board. But we went through the board because we thought it was that important of a change that we wanted the board to not only be informed, but also to approve and support, which you all did, and I appreciate that.
We did a lot of our updates through the program of study updates with curriculum committee.
Okay.
Graduation requirements aren't in a policy?
They are.
Mhm.
No, they are.
Is it?
The tiered
Uh,
requirements.
J to J.
Okay,
K?
Yeah, we did that.
IKF, is that
Yeah.
IKF? Yeah.
I remember doing it,
Yeah, me too.
but then I was thinking grading and
I
I'm like,
just-
shoot.
It's really about
I
that
think I
amount of
misheard
total
Allison.
enrollment that a student can have and how
I
that
was like,
shakes out in
they're
credits.
only in a program of study? That's not what you said at all, but that's what I
The
heard.
next time we come around to the graduation requirements, we'll actually update it so that it's just 24 across the
Mhm.
board, because we'll
Right.
have graduated out our current juniors and seniors.
I remember that, yeah. Okay,
So this one should just be make the change and it's not an intent.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be reported out because it's, everybody already knows.
Yep.
The changes that were being made.
agreed.
You want me to copy and paste
Yeah,
from
that'd be,
Yeah, I
that was kind of why we did
Yeah.
that separate document, just,
Font.
Yep.
but-
sorry.
1, 2, 3.
He does like our mom.
I apologize.
Only 5 are going for first read. Is that what you heard? 1, 2, 3, 5.
There's no reference to IKF
See?
in the policy. You were all worried that we were all gonna get like.
Well, I think because the
No.
eligibility policy, so
Trees down.
JJIC doesn't actually,
Page 3.
Only
talk about
four.
credits at all.
No, it's never talked about credits or
Same
graduation.
time.
It's only.
Is that what you
There is such a,
I have the two under old
Courses.
business.
It kind of covers.
And then
it for
adjournment,
full-time
policy,
status, 'cause
procedures,
in order to be
policy,
full-time
and
status, you're on
I
track
have-
to graduate.
Yeah.
So we kind of, I have made it.
4,
that
5, and
way.
6.
4,
that's what I
5,
have.
6, and 13.
I didn't look at the second page.
Oh,
13.
I don't have 13 on.
No,
the
we
board.
said that that we weren't,
okay.
that was by consensus, because the only thing that we did was take out the transportation.
Oh, I wrote board because I'm gonna report out. I wrote
Ah, okay.
board instead of report.
Okay.
Okay, good. We're excellent. Okay. Is there anything
That's
else? Next meeting is October 1st. I cannot be here. So fun. That's why we have a vice chair now. So I will not be here for that meeting. I also won't be here for October 8th.
Yeah, you'll have to send me something, because I'll
Okay.
forget. Can you see if somebody can cover you here, though?
Yes, I will reach out, and see if someone can come.
And I'll talk to Michelle and see if she wants to do policy for a couple months before negotiations start.
Okay, all right. If we're all good, then we're adjourned.
Good job,
I don't
Ben.
have a whack thing.
At what time?